So we know that we're in the month of February, which means Carnival is right around the corner. That's why we take you to the scenic village of Mount Irvin to explore a unique vacation spot, Luciana Villa. You still have time to make a booking. I'm Davia Chambers, and Let's Talk Tobago starts now. THA's 10th inauguration ceremony, highlights on the unveiling of the A&R Robinson mural at a primary school, and later we take you to the 211 Call Center Awards. These stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago continues. Stay with us.
I'm Newton George, and I'm a tour guide specializing in bird watching. I really got into this thing through my dad, who was an ardent birder, and he was the custodian in Little Tobago. I started to do bird watching now as a career because of my love for these birds. And it has taken me to Africa, to Brazil, to Germany, to India. Bird watching is a part of the tourism industry, and tourism is all our thing.
Luciana Villa is located on the southwestern side of Tobago in the very peaceful village of Mount Irvin. It's currently owned by Eric and Roxanne Udenberg, who have taken care of the property for approximately 9 years. I see myself creating fun memories right here, but so does this next story. Tobago made history once again as the Tobago House of Assembly had its 10th inauguration ceremony. Omodara Mills was among those who gathered for this memorable moment and has the details in this report.
I, Kelvin Charles, do swear by Almighty God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to Trinidad and Tobago and will uphold the Constitution and the law, that I will conscientiously, impartially, and to the best of my ability discharge my duties as Chief Secretary and do right to all manner of people without fear or favor, affection, or ill will.
Taking his oath of office is the new Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Kelvin Charles. Mr. Charles's party, the People's National Movement, holds the majority in the Assembly due to its 10-2 victory in the 2017 THA elections. He is now the area representative for Blackrock Whim Spring Garden. Some familiar faces have returned. They are Joel Jack, who retained his Bacalet Mount St. George seat. Mr. Jack was also appointed Deputy Chief Secretary. Ansel Dennis returns as both area representative for Buku Mount Pleasant and Deputy Presiding Officer. Jomo Pitt represents Lambo Signal Hill once again. Sheldon Cunningham was sworn in as the Providence Mason Hall Moriah area representative, while Hayden Spencer narrowly got the nod for Goodwood Bell Garden following a recount. Some new faces have been added to the Assembly lineup. They are Marcelin Melville Jack, area representative for Scarborough Calder Hall; Mauricia Osmond of Plymouth Golden Lane, Shamari Hector, Bethel Mount Irvin, and Clarence Jacob, Canaan Bonaccord. Unlike the previous THA election, there is now a minority in the Assembly. Mr. Watson Duke received his instrument of appointment as minority leader of the THA from President Anthony Carmona. His party, the Progressive Democratic Patriots, won 2 out of the 12 seats. Mr. Duke was sworn in as the area representative for Roxborough-Delaford, and Farley Augustine is the new area representative for the Speyside Lansfomé-Palotuvere district. 3 councillors were sworn in on the advice of the Chief Secretary. They are Nadine Stewart Phillips, Kwesi Devines, and Agatha Carrington, while 1 councillor, Dr. Faith B. Israel, was sworn in on the advice of the minority leader. In his address to the Assembly, President Carmona encouraged both sides of the House to work together for the benefit of Tobagonians.
The solution is a simple one. This tired philosophy of service to politics must be replaced by service leadership. We are so busy appealing to the politics and the politician when we should be appealing to the human being in the politician. Ladies and gentlemen, the creation of a holistic dialogue in our republic must be entrenched in our philosophy of governance, postulated and practiced on the altar of service leadership and not, and I repeat, not power leadership.
Former Councillor Dr. Denise Soefat Angus will serve the Assembly as presiding officer. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Luciana, a nice name, don't you think? Well, it was inspired by Roxanne Udenberg's middle name, Lucia. The property here reflects a traditionally modern style, and its beautifully landscaped flower gardens is perfect for wedding photos. Now, the secret of change is to focus on building the new, and in an effort to build the new, the Tobago House of Assembly welcomed a few fresh faces after the elections. The new Tobago House of Assembly executive was sworn in at the President's house. Have a look.
The Chief Secretary, Kelvin Charles, will take responsibility for the Division of Education, Innovation and Energy. He's joined by Ansel Dennis and Marisha Osmond, who are Assistant Secretaries in the Office of the Chief Secretary. Joel Jack, the Secretary of Finance and the Economy, has also been appointed as Deputy Chief Secretary.
I approached the task with the required diligence, recognizing that this is a serious exercise. The development of the island of Tobago is what we are about, and the resources that I have available to me are resources that I have to organize in a particular way to give effect to our mandate.
Councillor Nadine Stewart Phillips has been given another key portfolio, the Division of Tourism, Culture and Transportation. And Marcelin Melville Jack is Secretary of Community Development, Enterprise Development and Labour. Assistant Secretary in that division is Shomari Hector. Jomo Pitt is the Secretary of Sport and Youth Affairs. Hayden Spencer returns as the Secretary of Food Production and Fisheries. In the last administration, he was Assistant Secretary of the then Division of Agriculture, Marine Affairs, Marketing and the Environment.
I think I would have worked hard as an Assistant Secretary in Agriculture, and then to be appointed now Secretary in the very said Division of Agriculture, I'll be able to continue on what we would have started, myself and Secretary Adams, in agriculture, revitalizing the whole agriculture sector.
Clarence Jacob is the Secretary of Settlements, Urban Renewal and Public Utilities.
I feel humble, I feel happy. It's really a pleasure to serve Tobago and by extension my community. I know it's a long road ahead and I intend to do a good job.
Secretary of the Division of Infrastructure and the Environment is Councillor Kwesi Devines. He is assisted by Sheldon Cunningham. Councillor Dr. Agatha Carrington is the Secretary of Health, Wellness and Family Development. The secretaries and assistant secretaries were sworn in by the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, His Excellency Anthony Carmona. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
Are you convinced that Luciana is the place for your next vacation? If yes, then you love this. Management wants you to know that this property can be used for intimate weddings and small events for up to 50 persons. Now, it's hard to execute any strategy without a plan. In this story, we share with you the new plans for the Tobago House of Assembly. Listen to this.
Tobago now has its third Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Mr. Kelvin Charles. Now, he'll hold the office for the 2017 to the 2021 period. Tourism, agriculture, enterprise are some of the top priorities for the Chief Secretary as he enters his office.
Aspect that we'll move quickly to try to treat with is the whole question of the establishment of a Tobago Tourism Authority, whose responsibility in the main would be to facilitate product development, review issues relative to marketing and so on, and execution of our brand and that kind of thing, so that we can begin to position the island once again as a premier destination for visitors, both domestic and foreign.
Creating an agricultural policy is high on the THA's agenda. This master plan will guide and stimulate the actions of the public and private sectors with the aim of boosting food security. There will also be a focus on industrial and business development.
And of course, line manufacturing, because emanating from the agricultural policy directive, we would want to give some fillip to the whole question of agro-processing and so on. And these are critical items, so that we're going to be taking actions almost immediately, because you know there is action, delay, and then results.
Charles expressed his feelings about his journey thus far.
There is that feeling of humility, because as Chief Secretary, one is essentially the chief servant of the people. And I know the demands of the people are high. And the challenge obviously will be, how does one reconcile the expectations of so many in the context of few resources, in the context of the constraints that we have, in the context of satisfaction of everyone.
Mr. Charles leads the majority in the Assembly, 10 area representatives and 3 councillors. The minority has 2 area representatives and 1 councillor. As Chief Secretary, Mr. Charles says he hopes to collaborate with Minority Leader Mr. Watson Duke and his team to benefit all Tobagonians. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Up next, surprise at the Bell Garden Anglican Primary School. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Come, there we go to Tobago, that paradise, bung by Robinson Crusoe. And it is said, it's the land of tomorrow. Princess Margaret say, come Tobago for holiday. Now the whole world say, come Tobago for holiday.
Welcome back. You're tuning in to Let's Talk Tobago. Now, Luciana Villa is the perfect place to cool down after a very hectic carnival season. It's in close proximity to the Mount Irving Beach and the Mount Irving Golf Course. So a special teacher was honored by the Bell Garden Anglican Primary School for her outstanding work. In her honor, a mural of the late A.N.R. Robinson was painted, and this is what it looks like.
He was the only political figure to hold the 3 highest offices in the country: President, Prime Minister, and the Chairman of the Tobago House of Assembly. Arthur Napoleon Raymond Robinson contributed significantly to the development of this little island. He championed the cause for Tobago's autonomy, which led to the restoration of the Assembly in 1980. He died in 2014, and the Bell Garden Anglican Primary School is ensuring that their students understand the contributions of Mr. Robinson. So the school commissioned a mural which pays a tribute to this Tobago champion.
The walls were taken higher and we erected a fence around the perimeter of the school. Because the walls were raised up, it gave us room now to actually paint positive messages on those spaces for the students. And we decided to paint messages both inside and outside.
The mural was dedicated to former Principal Briata Melville for initiating the idea. The art piece will improve the aesthetics of the school and served to remind students that they can emulate the leaders. He showed real determination and was celebrated for his ethics and led the charge for Tobago's autonomy.
One of the messages or pictures that Mrs. Melville always wanted was one of Mr. A.N.R. Robinson. And she left us without us getting that done. And so, in her honor, we decided to paint a mural of Mr. A.N.R. Robinson because he is a champion for Tobagonians, he's a champion for people all over the world.
The mural at the school was done as part of a project called My Community, My Pride, hosted by the Division of Community Development and Culture under the former administration. Mr. Robinson also played a critical role in the formation of the International Court of Justice. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
Amazing things can happen when you vacation in Tobago, including finding your dream home. The Udenberg family stumbled across this beauty on their honeymoon in Tobago. They fell in love with the view of the Caribbean Sea and the tranquility of the area and decided to make it theirs. Now 6 schools throughout the island are benefiting from the school expansion program. 5 of them are to be extended while construction is ongoing for the other school.
Too many students, not enough space. It's an issue affecting many schools across the country, but 6 schools in Tobago are getting relief through the island's school expansion program. Bishop's High School, along with primary schools Patience Hill Government, Signal Hill Government, Wim Anglican and Hope Anglican are all being extended. Scarborough RC is getting a new school. Just before completing his term as Secretary of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport, Huey Cadet toured the schools to get a first-hand view of the progress. But why these schools?
There were the schools that we had some issues for the over the years with space. They're growing communities and therefore the demands for persons to be enrolled in the schools have expanded over the years, and therefore we recognize there's a need to treat with them.
Mr. Cadet says the works are all on schedule. He's pleased with what has been accomplished so far.
As you'd have seen, all of them are at different stages. Bishop's is almost completed. I think all of them are at different stages. I think generally we are happy with the progress we've seen thus far.
Mr. Cadet says these schools have all played a role in developing the island's human capital. One school, he says, has been educating Tobago's youth for a long time.
Of course, Bishop's is one of our secondary schools, and it has a particular history and legacy, and that therefore has called upon it when asked to expand its enrollment, has it always done so. So really what we would have done with conjunction with the Anglican board is to essentially provide more space for Bishops to be able to continue to do what it does best in terms of the development of young Tobagonians.
The Scarborough RC School is expected to be completed in time for the second school term in 2018. I'm Keyshawn Wilson for Let's Talk Tobago.
Many activities are offered to keep guests occupied, which include surfing, golfing, mountain bike riding, diving, and bird watching. Now come with me as I take you on a journey through the years, the highs and lows, the milestones and memorable moments since 1980 when the new Tobago House of Assembly was formed. Let's have a look at this week's THA footnotes.
The thrust has been to marry tourism, marketing and events so that local producers can sell their goods in different spaces and places on any given day. Now, with events such as the Jazz Experience, Tobago Fashion Week, Fashion Coda, Blue Food Festival, Buku Goat Race and Heritage Festival give budding entrepreneurs a place to do business with crafts, local delicacies and fashion. For some, like the owner of ICU Design, Kirsten Benjamin, he had the opportunity to travel to different parts of the world, taking his talent and product overseas.
The THA took it upon themselves to involve me in their drive to push fashion here in Tobago. So I was called upon to go to Caribbean Fashion Week in Jamaica in 2014 and 2015. And in 2015 we went to Japan.
This turned Kirsten's dream into reality.
The drive behind ICU, or my clothing line ICU, is just wanting to leave something here on earth before I leave. It's about leaving a legacy. That's where I stand with my brand.
The Division of Tourism, Culture and Transportation continues to establish, standardize and sustain the island's tourism product in a manner consistent with the repositioning strategy for Tobago and its producers. I'm Keishon Wilson for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's time to take a break, but when we return, 211 achieves yet another major accomplishment. Don't go anywhere. Let's Talk Tobago will be right back. Thanks for staying with us. This is Let's Talk Tobago. Luciana Villa has 4 full bathrooms and 4 bedrooms. It can sleep a maximum of 10 persons comfortably. Now, 2017 is the year for achievements, as the 211 call center hosted an award ceremony to celebrate the accomplishments of a major milestone. Kern de Freitas has this report.
More than 8 years after its inception, the Tobago Information Technology Limited, TITL's 211 Contact Center is celebrating a big milestone, serving its 1 millionth customer. TITL officially opened its doors in November 2008. Through the call center, the public can dial 211 toll-free for general information on the island, such as businesses and locations. They can also access emergency services.
The 211 call center has been able to defy that stereotype and has become a beacon for quality customer service with its large homegrown talent.
TITL is a company attached to the finance division. It's a source of pride for both entities, as this landmark has been achieved in less than 10 years.
The fact that we have reached 1 million customers in less than 10 years is indeed momentous. The public has responded with considerable enthusiasm and confidence to the services offered by the 211 Contact Center, which is further testament to the caliber of the operations being provided to Tobagonians by Tobagonians.
They also took time to honor that special customer who made the historic call.
I am truly blessed to receive this award. I'm thankful that you have invited me to this program. I always call this center, and I find that they are very courteous.
TITL is pursuing other projects, including the construction of an innovation center in Signal Hill. I'm Kern de Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
Guests don't have to travel far to cool down after the carnival jump up. They can have a cool dip in the pool right here at Luciana Villa. Now the Tobago Regional Health Authority recognized the efforts of their staff members at the employee recognition ceremony hosted at the Shore Park complex. Have a look at this next report.
Tobago's healthcare workers provide an invaluable service, and recently the Tobago Regional Health Authority, TRHA, took the time to honor its hard-working staff for their efforts at its annual Employee Recognition Award ceremony at the Shore Park complex. The TRHA also celebrated the advances of the healthcare system.
As we recognize our employees in our various units, we recognize them for the quality and sterling contributions that they have provided to the organization and by extension to the citizens of Tobago over the period. And during this period of less than 5 years, we have expanded our services, we have introduced new services.
Oswald Williams, who chairs the TRHA board, is thanking employees for ensuring the healthcare system is well served. He says all employees have an important role in contributing to this success.
What you do is perform enabling services, create enabling circumstances that will ensure that this healthcare service that we deliver to our clients as quality service is of the highest quality, so that you are important to the organization regardless of where you are. And I want you to understand that. All of us are in this together.
TRHA staff were also encouraged to continue striving for excellence, to work to surpass customer expectations, and to keep improving customer service levels. He also had a challenge for them.
During this year, as we deliver, let us see if we can come back here next year and say, we have done something differently this year that has impacted positively on our department and therefore on the institution, on healthcare delivery, and certainly on customer satisfaction throughout Tobago.
The top performers for 2016 were rewarded for their dedication during the award ceremony. A special presentation was made to former THA Assemblyman Claudia Groom-Duke for her service to the division.
And it's time to have Your Say, the segment of our program where we hear what you, the viewers, have to say. So today we're asking, what can we do to prevent bullying in schools? Now, while you think about it, let's take a look at who had their say this week.
I believe that everything starts off in the home, and whatever happens in the home translates to what happens with your kids. So I believe parents need to take more responsibility and talk to your kids. Discipline them when you see they're going astray rather than condoning some of the things that they do.
Firstly, that will start from the parenting at home, the parenting the children, well, teaching them right from wrong.
Have a meeting with the teacher, the bully, and the parents.
The only way we could curb bullying in schools is by parents teaching the children right from wrong from small.
I say bring back couple punishment, because before that everything was okay. Now everything gone haywire.
At the end of the day, we lost God in school, and if we bring that back, we could deal with the social issues from there, because crime doesn't start with guns and violence. It starts small. It starts as babies, just like anything else. It nurtures itself, and if we bring that back, bring back spirituality into the schools, I believe that we'll be able to deal with it.
We close another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and very productive week. We close now with a montage of the St. Patrick's District Harvest and Thanksgiving service. We hope you enjoy.